Hello and welcome back to another week here at Knickknack Kitchen, where today we are making eggless no oven double chocolate cookies. Now, after having shared so many holiday cookie recipes, it only makes sense to at least have one chocolate cookie recipe on this channel, and this is the ultimate chocolate cookie dough. It's eggless, it's so delicious even before you bake them, actually. And you can bake this either in an oven or on a stove top, and I'm going to show it to you both ways. Either way you choose, these cookies are going to be absolutely perfect and delicious. And without waiting any longer, let's just dive into this video and see how we make them. So to kick things off, I have some soft salted butter in a bowl, to which I'll add some soft brown sugar and some regular white sugar as well, which I've powdered in a mixer, and we're just going to beat this all together for about 3 to 4 minutes until the mixture is light and fluffy and a whole lot paler in color. So when our mixture looks like this, we're going to go ahead and add some vanilla extract for flavor, and we'll beat that in for about 30 seconds as well. So before we add the dry ingredients, we're just going to scrape down the bowl with the help of a spatula. And once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and add some flour, along with which we'll add some cocoa powder. And the final ingredient for the dough is some baking soda, just under a teaspoon. And we're going to mix this all first with a spatula, and then we'll go in with our mixer so as to avoid a whole cloud of flour. So one thing which you'll notice about the dough is that when you're mixing it, particularly with your hand mixer, you'll notice that the dough really does not come together and it will seem like it's way too dry. But I definitely recommend that you first go in with your hands, try and clump the dough together, and you'll notice that gradually it will form a stiff dough. Now, in case that's not happening for you and it's way too dry, then by all means go ahead and add about a tablespoon of milk at a time until you have a firm dough. Since I did not need any milk, I'm directly adding some chocolate chips, and I'm just going to mix this in as well. Now, if you don't have chocolate chips, you can just add some chopped up chocolates. That will work perfectly fine as well. And as you can see, this dough has come together. It's very stiff. It's not one of those soft, malleable doughs, but it is perfect for this cookie. And we're just going to transfer this out onto a sheet of parchment paper and roll it between two sheets of parchment paper. And the thickness that we're looking for is about 1/4 of an inch and no thicker, because these cookies are just perfect at that level of thickness. So once we've rolled out the cookie dough, we're going to go ahead and cut out our shapes. And I'm using a 1-inch cookie cutter just because I like them in this particular size, because the cookies are indulgent and I psychologically feel like I'm eating lesser if I have a smaller cookie. But that being said, if you don't have a small cookie cutter or you just like large cookies altogether, by all means go by your preferred size. And if you don't have a cookie cutter, then you can definitely use a steel glass or a bowl. Anything with a sharp edge would be perfect over here. So we're just going to lay out our cut out cookies on a parchment paper, and we're going to refrigerate this before we bake them. Now, I just want to very quickly point this out that no cookie dough should ever go to waste, and particularly not this one because it's so delicious. And what you're going to do is you'll bring it all back together into a ball, and you can roll it out and make more cookies right away. But if you don't want to, then you can refrigerate this for up to a week. As for the cookies that were chilling in the fridge, we're going to transfer this to a baking tray and bake them at 175 degrees for about 6 minutes, and our cookies are ready to be served. Now, if you don't have an oven, so what you're going to do is you'll take a non-stick pan and we're going to use a stand because we don't want the cookies to directly touch the base of our pan. The cookies will burn in that case. And we're going to cover this with a lid and then we're going to heat this on medium-low heat. We're going to preheat for about 7 to 10 minutes. And then we're going to place the cookies, and I have laid them out on a flat pie base, but you can use any flat surface. Do grease it with some butter just to ensure that the cookies don't stick. And now this will take about 10 minutes. It takes a little longer than if you were to conventionally bake this in an oven, but the end result is just as amazing and just as delicious. With that being said, here you have my amazing double chocolate cookies. These are bound to be a crowd pleaser. And speaking of crowd pleasing, if you plan to make these for your loved ones, I'm going to give you a fair warning. The cookie dough is so delicious, you're going to end up eating at least a quarter of that dough even before it hits the oven. So please plan accordingly. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, then please do give a like. Do share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you next week.